When it comes to love, many of us believe the hardest part is finding the right person. We imagine that if the universe would just place someone kind, genuine, and loving in front of us, the rest would be effortlessly. Yet so often, when love finally does arrive, when someone begins to see us with tenderness and care, something inside of us tightens. Instead of leaning in, we pull back. Instead of opening, we build walls. We might not even realize it at first. It could look like second guessing their affection, questioning their intentions, or testing them to see if they'll stay. Or it could look like subtly sabotaging this relationship, keeping secrets, withholding, criticizing, or even running away before they get too close. And I'm talking about myself with that last part. But when we reflect on that later, we're left with a haunting question. Why do I keep pushing away the very thing I say I want most? If this feels familiar, you're not alone. Beneath the longing for love, there can be a deep, often hidden fear of receiving it. On the surface, you want connection. You want to be chosen, cherished, embraced. But somewhere deeper, in the quiet chambers of your heart, love feels dangerous. It feels like surrendering control. It feels like the possibility of rejection, disappointment, or loss. And so, even without meaning to, you guard yourself from the very intimacy you crave. This fear doesn't come out of nowhere. It usually has roots in our earliest experiences, times when love was inconsistent, when affection came with conditions, or vulnerability led to hurt. If you grew up feeling like you had to perform, achieve, or earn your worth to be loved, then simply being loved as you are can feel unfamiliar, almost unbearable. If love in the past has meant betrayal, abandonment, or judgment, your nervous system remembers. It keeps score, quietly telling you, don't get too close. Don't let them in. Protect yourself or you'll get hurt. And so, when someone tries to love you, your heart doesn't only see the sweetness of their care, it also awakens the ghosts of the past. The part of you that learned survival through self protection rises up, creating distance where closeness could be, not because you don't want love, but because your heart is trying to protect itself from repeating the old wounds. The first step to letting someone love you is to stop shaming yourself for this pattern. It's not that you're broken. It's not that you're unworthy or incapable of intimacy. It's that somewhere along the way, love got tangled with pain. Your heart learned that love wasn't safe, and so it built armor. And armor, by its very nature, doesn't distinguish between what's dangerous and what is nourishing. It blocks it all. So the work is not about forcing yourself to drop the armor all at once. That would feel terrifying. The work is about learning how to hold your own heart with gentleness, to reassure it that it's safe to soften, safe to be seen, safe to be loved. Not by just anyone, but by those who have earned that place in your life. Think about it. When you push someone away, it's not usually because you don't like them. Quite often, it's the opposite. The more they matter, the more vulnerable you feel. And vulnerability is the place where love either grows or shuts down. If you've spent years building walls, Stepping into that space will feel shaky, and that's okay. Love doesn't require you to be fearless. It only asks for your willingness to stay open, even if your knees tremble. I was watching a K drama recently, and in one episode, the lawyer said to his client, "Yes, I feel vulnerable too when I'm in love. In fact, the more in love I am, the more vulnerable I become." To let someone love you, you have to begin with allowing yourself to feel lovable. Not perfect, not polished, not endlessly given, but simply lovable in your raw humanity. And this begins with turning inward. Ask yourself, what happens in me when I imagine being fully loved? What comes up when I picture someone seeing all of me, the light and the shadow, the beauty and the mess, and choosing to stay? Do I feel warm? Do I feel fear? Do I want to run? Or do I doubt it could be real? Often, the answer is mixed. Part of you longs for it, while another part resists. This is not a contradiction, it's an invitation. The longing shows you your truth. You are made for love. And the resistance shows you your wounds, the places where love was unsafe before. Both are important. Both deserve to be acknowledged. When you feel the pull and push inside you, instead of judging it, try to meet it with compassion. Tell yourself, of course I want love, and of course I'm scared. Of course I yearn for closeness, and of course I've learned to protect myself. Both can coexist. The key is not to eliminate the fear, but to let love and fear sit together side by side without letting fear drive the car. That's what courage really looks like. It's not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to move toward love even while fear whispers in the background. Letting someone love you also means letting yourself receive without shrinking, without deflecting, without rushing to even the score. How many times has someone offered you a compliment and your instinct was to brush it off? How many times has someone shown care and you minimized it, or felt guilty, or thought you had to repay it immediately? That's what happens when receiving feels unsafe. You're so used to giving that the moment love flows towards you, your reflex is to block it. But here's the truth: love is not meant to be earned, okay? It's meant to be given and received. It's not a transaction, it's the natural flow of energy. It's an exchange of presence, of heart, of being. And to receive love deeply, you don't have to do anything. You just need to not block it. Allow it to land. The next time someone offers you kindness, try this. Pause. Take a breath. Let their words or gestures sink in without rushing to respond. Feel how it lands in your body. Notice the urge to push it away, and instead whisper inwardly, "It's safe to let this in." That tiny act of receiving begins to rewire the old pattern. Of course, letting love in doesn't mean letting everyone in. Boundaries matter. Discernment matters. Not all love offered to us is healthy, especially those that claim to be love but are actually toxic. But part of growing is learning to tell the difference. When someone shows up with consistency, with care, with genuine intention, and you find yourself resisting their closeness, it's worth asking, am I protecting myself from them or from my own fear? Sometimes we think we're protecting ourselves from being hurt by others, when in reality, we're protecting ourselves from the vulnerability of being seen. To be loved is to be seen, not the mask, not the curated version, but the real you. And if you've carried shame, if you've believed that parts of you are unlovable, then of course being seen feels terrifying. But here's the paradox. Only by allowing yourself to be seen can you discover that you're lovable as you are. Let me repeat that. Only by allowing yourself to be seen can you discover that you're lovable as you are. Letting someone love you is not about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about letting down the guard just enough for someone to reach your heart, and then staying present as they hold it gently. It's about trusting that while love may never be risk-free, it can be worth the risk. So ask yourself, would you rather, oh, I love some great would you rather questions. Okay, would you rather stay behind a shut door safely with no true, genuine connections with anyone? Or would you rather open up to love, knowing that there is a risk of getting hurt? There's no right or wrong answer, only what you truly long for. So, if you do want to unlock your heart, how do you begin? Start with the smallest steps. Notice when you want to deflect or run, and instead, stay a little longer. When someone offers you care, try letting it touch you. When you feel the urge to sabotage, pause and ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I let this in? Is that fear from the present or from the past? You guys know, if you've watched my previous videos, that my last relationship didn't work out because we both had our hearts closed off. But what's my growth? I remember when we first met, when I realized I was falling for him, but he had not said he wanted a relationship. What did I do? I freaked out. I sabotaged it by telling myself, don't waste your time, he's not into you. And that was only our third meet. But I caught myself sabotaging and I communicated with him. That was growth. Even though the relationship didn't end up working out, and even though he might not feel that I communicated enough, it was huge for me. Going from shutting down or trying to run every time I got upset to catching myself and doing my best to face my fear. And most importantly, practice giving yourself the love you crave from others. The more you hold your own heart with tenderness, the less terrifying it becomes to let someone else hold it too. Tell yourself daily, I'm worthy of love. I'm safe to receive love. I don't have to push it away because I am love. The more you embody that truth, the easier it becomes to recognize genuine love when it arrives and to let it stay. In the end, letting someone love you is an act of courage, of surrender, and of trust. It's not about finding the perfect relationship where fear magically disappears. It's about learning to stand at the doorway of intimacy, heart trembling, and saying yes anyway. Because love Real love is not about erasing your wounds. It's about creating a space where those wounds can be held with compassion. And when you stop pushing love away, you give yourself the chance to discover the truth that you're not too much, you're not broken, and you're not unlovable. You are human, and you are worthy of being loved just as you are.